Hey mama, are you a multi-passionate mom who is juggling all the things, nursing a baby, battling laundry, trying to keep it together and keep a spicy marriage, and feeling like you're feeling all of it? What's up? I'm Ashley Carroll. I'm here to hold your hand through this process because I believe when you're ready to take control of your life, beat the limiting excuses, step into your own power, you can not only survive, but you can thrive. But you're gonna have to show up for yourself. It's time for me to tough love your way through prioritization, taking self-care seriously, getting rid of excuses, reconnecting with your family, kids, and spouse, and quite honestly, learning to love the chaos because the glory is in the journey. It's in the mess. In this podcast, you will find balance for busy mamas, navigating mom guilt, time management strategies, and everything in between with no fluff and lots of fun. Let's go. Hey friends, today you're going to be listening to day one's love language challenge that was live in the Facebook group. I want to let you know my internet was being really wonky and I was having to sit down like literally up against the door in my office. And it was hard to be my normal upbeat, like hype self because I was trying to be quiet. And of course, my littlest one woke up as soon as I hit live. And my husband was left with him trying to navigate, trying to get him to calm down. Hilarious. Anyways, tomorrow, if you're listening, this is Monday. Tuesday, I'm going to go live about like 9:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to do it during the day. It'll be easier. I won't have to worry about being quiet. So tune in 9 a.m. Tuesday, October 6th, live for the Love Languages Challenge, day 2. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing already. I feel like you guys have gained so much. Here is the raw live audio from day 1.
Okay, we're gonna get started because I know that your time is precious. My little one is screaming his head off. He's at a stage where he's extremely clingy to me right now. He is, I don't know why, but that's where we're at, and ain't nobody happy. Okay, so today, day 1, we're going to be, hey Allie, we're going to be talking about placing expectations and fulfillment on another person. Boom. Like I told you guys, we're going to go into this hard, and we are. So first, I'm going to do a little talk about whatever, something that I feel like we need to cover, and then our homework. You guys are going to share your homework in the group. Do not be scared, okay? Because if you don't post, then another mom won't post because they're too nervous and it's too scary and oh my gosh, and then, then we all just sit in our feelings and nobody gets anything done and nothing happens in your marriage, which that sucks. So don't be scared. Placing expectations and fulfillment on another one. Okay, so there is a huge difference between expectations and desires. Let me set my timer. Otherwise, we're going to be here all night. Okay. Expectations say, like, why am I the only person who sees the socks on the floor? Why couldn't they pick these up? It was on the floor on the way to the laundry basket. Shout out if you guys can relate to some of these, okay? Like, do the raise your hand emoji if you're like, yes, that's me. When you think, why am I the only one who sees the socks on the floor? Why do you never just want to do the dishes? Like, why do you never just think, I'll do the dishes for her? The sink's full. Surely I must do the dishes, right? They're dirty. Somebody has to do them. Maybe I should do them, right? So give me some likes or hearts if you can relate to those feelings, because y'all are lying if I don't see any. Hey, Destiny. So when you're like, why am I the only one? Those are expectations. You expect somebody to want to do something for you. You expect them to have the same ideas, the same, right? Like you expect them to get it done. You want it done. And when it doesn't get done, you're disappointed, right? Okay. So you and your boo thing, your spouse, your husband are two separate people with two separate sets of expectations. So you came into this marriage like, oh, I desire, like I have so many desires. I want like a house and I want a white picket fence and I want kids and I want us to travel and I want us to do all these things. And then womp womp, they turn into expectations. And now you're saying, I expect you to take me to these places. And I expect you to get me this house. I expect you to fill all my needs, right? Like I initially, like, right, we're in our honeymoon phase and we're like, oh, like I desire to like hold hands maybe, or we're gonna snuggle and watch a movie, and it's gonna be like cozy all the time. We're gonna snuggle, we're gonna be intimate, we're gonna have sex every night. Maybe that's his desire, like I want a wife that is intimate. But then when it goes to expectations, when they're not met, then you get resentment. So how many of you guys are in a place of resentment right now where you're like, wow, I don't know where this went wrong, how I feel this way about somebody who I love so much and so deeply? And this isn't a bad thing, guys. Like, right? Like, there should be no guilt for feeling resentment. Okay. It just happens, especially when things get out of whack. So, desires turn into expectations, and that is the danger zone. Unmet expectations equal resentment, and resentment is the number one factor in divorce. Like, literally. I'm not just saying that to freak you guys out. It's literally the number one factor in divorce. You can ask a lawyer. My father-in-law is one. And it's ridiculous because it's something that is because of a lack of communication, a lack of telling somebody these thoughts that are in your head, but in a safe, judgment-free zone, okay? Like, do not go to your husband and verbal vomit all over him when he walks in the door and be like, I can't believe you didn't do this, you blah, 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 like all these things, right? No. When we feel attacked, we have flight or fight modes, and nothing good ever comes of it, right? It's either really ugly or really ugly. So, resentment is the number one factor. Expectations leave everyone feeling a debt. Ouch, that sucks, right? Like, what does my spouse owe me? I mean, I think this is one of the things that really transformed my mindset was when I realized that that's basically what I was saying, that my husband, I have it in my head that my husband owes me happiness, that he owes me fulfillment, or that he owes me a vacation, or that he owes me intimacy, or that he owes me understanding, or that he owes me, like, right, fill in the blank. What would you guys fill in the blank right there? Like, what do you feel like your husband owes you? There's no wrong answers, guys. There's no shameful answers. It just happens. I think a big one for me was happiness. I felt like my husband owed me happiness and feeling complete, which is impossible, you guys. Humans are imperfect people. To put your happiness and fulfillment in another person is a weight that they cannot bear. Time. That's a good one. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that you feel like he owes you time? But we're limited beings. We fail, we fall short. None of us are perfect. So for me to expect him to do things, right? Like, I expect him to make me happy. I expect him to make me feel fulfilled. That is like that is like asking a cow to bring me chicken nuggets. Like, those are things that you can't do. That's something that I have to do. It's internal work first. Communication. But why? Why do you feel like he owes you communication? Also, I think that here's something that I learned as well, is when you really dig into who each other's upbringings were, the situations, and have these conversations, then it makes more sense to you of like why they are the way that they are. And then it gives you a little bit more wiggle room and a little bit more understanding and a little bit more freedom of like, oh, like, so your dad didn't ever like sit down and spend time with your mom? Oh, okay, like that makes sense. Or like your dad and your mom didn't really talk about the hard things, or at least not without yelling. Like, then it makes sense. It doesn't make it excusable, right? Because we can learn from what we know now. But it does help you to understand a little bit better about why we come from, the perspectives that we come from, and how we respond the way we respond. So if you're just tuning in, we're talking about placing expectations and fulfillment on another one. Um, two people with separate expectations need to express their expectations. Otherwise, it turns to resentment. And to come together to find a resolution to both be happy. Here's a mistake that you make is compromise. I think that's another thing that really blew my mind was compromise. Do you guys um, use that often? Like, we'll just compromise. Like, no. And this is something that also I thought was the right thing to do, because you're always told to compromise, like, give up some, give up some, give up some. Well, guess what? If you're both giving up some, ain't nobody happy, right? And that sucks. So compromise is like saying, I will do this because I want my marriage to work. I will give up these, my dream of living on 10 acres and we'll live in the suburbs 30 minutes from the city because I want my marriage to work. But you're resentful, right? Like, you feel like you've served your marriage, but you're not serving your spouse. You're not serving your commitment to each other. You're just serving your marriage to make the marriage survive, right? I don't know why I just did air quotes because there wasn't necessarily. But like, we have to find a resolution to make both people happy. So if it's my desire to travel and it's his desire to stay home, which I know there's some of you out there because I saw those forms filled out, okay? I ain't gonna call you out because I don't know who you are, but I just did call you out, so. But right, like, it's not about saying like, oh, well, I'll just stay home because I want to serve my marriage. But it's like, no, let's come together and find a resolution together. So I think something that we want to walk away with, or I hope that you walk away with tonight, is the new word of using resolution instead of compromise. Because compromise turns into resentment a lot of the times if we don't know how to use it the correct way. So fulfillment, to set your marriage up for success, we need to start identifying our ultimate source of fulfillment. What is it that makes you full? For me, personally, it's God. There has been no other way that I can do that. What is it for you? Maybe you believe in something else. Maybe you don't. I haven't figured out a way to do marriage successfully and without me putting all this weight and expectation on another person without my faith. I've tried it before. It didn't work. Toxic, horrible, awful. Doesn't work. But how do you set up your marriage success is to start identifying where your ultimate source of fulfillment is, and then to set to like have those conversations about like, okay, where am I, or actually let me back up. Like I said, to set your expectations in the right buckets, okay? Like, to really think about, what am I placing on somebody else that's not theirs to hold? Should it be over here? Like, should it be in my faith bucket? Or is it on my human husband who has no idea what he's gotten into bucket? Right? What do you guys think? Tell me. I need to see you guys in the comments so I can, like, are you with me? I don't know. Tell me one if you're with me, because otherwise I just don't know if I'm on the right page as you guys, or if you're vibing with me, if you're getting me, if this is helpful. Compare how your mothers and your fathers did in marriage. Think about how my mom and dad, oh my gosh, it was a hot mess express. It was a train wreck. If you've listened to my podcast, you know, okay? Hot mess. Had no idea. I had no idea until we were engaged, maybe something like that. And then we had mentors, and I was like, oh, my husband will tell you the same thing. And then he was like, oh, that's what that looks like? What? Like, we had no idea. And we were like, oh my gosh, married people that are happy fight? What? Like, it was just so mind baffling to me. So I have some homework for y'all, and it's going to cover a little bit of that. But I want you to think on your own, like, how did my mom partake in marriage? Like, what did she do? What did she not do? How did my dad? What did she do? What did he do? Because unknowingly, we mirror those marriages. Or if it was bad, we expect something different. And because it was so bad, we want to do the farthest thing from it. So we are like polar opposites of that. And then we want anything that our husband does or our spouse does to mirror that we want to get away from. We immediately like freak out, panic mode. It's awful. So compare how your mothers and fathers partook in their roles in marriage. Why do you think they did that? Was it because their grandparents or their parents didn't do those things or did do those things? And was their marriage something that you wish to mirror? If you're copying their ways of doing marriage, guess what? You're going to have their kind of marriage. Is that what you want? Do you admire their kind of marriage? If you do, cool, great. Maybe ask them more how they handle these situations. Make sure it also wasn't perspective, like, or perceived in one way when in actuality they were struggling. Okay, sometimes we have no idea. Like, sometimes we had parents that only argued behind closed doors, and so we thought that they were always happy. And then now we expect our marriage to always be happy and to never have arguments, which is impossible. That's a lie. Okay. It's a big reason why we fight in front of our kids in a healthy way, right? But because we don't want to set them up for unrealistic expectations. I don't need my kids married and to be freaking out when they have their first fight. Oh, dang. Okay, how to reconnect. Okay, so I'm going to speed this up because we're getting into time. Okay, so let me read my notes so I stay on track, y'all. Okay, so there's a difference between desires and expectations. Desires are a good thing, right? When they turn into expectations, then it's dangerous. We don't want that. When they aren't met, answer below, answer in the comments, you guys. When your expectations aren't met, what do? Okay, put the number that you can relate to. Number 1, you distance yourself from your spouse. Oh, crap. I can't get any more. This is my door. I can't get any more closer to the internet. Okay, so number 1, you distance yourself from your spouse when your expectations aren't met, meaning that, like, you expected them to think about you during the day, send you a text message during the day, do the dishes for you. You expected them to fill your gas tank for you while you were sleeping. If they didn't meet those, can you relate to these? Number 1, distance yourself from your spouse. 2, you try to change your spouse because you're like, this isn't the way I want it. Let me try to make him be something else. Let me try to help him navigate towards this person that I more want him to be like. Like, y'all are just like ninja puppeteers, right? Or you're like, if I just make him think that he wants to do this, right? Like, he'll be the person that I always dreamed of. Oh my gosh. So put it to, if you try to make your husband more of the person you want him to be. Or number 3, you try to work it out so that way you both win. I ain't seeing no numbers, y'all. What are you doing? Nothing? No. I know this is heavy stuff, and I know it's vulnerable stuff, but we're all in it, right? Like, it's kind of a question of, like, it's not if, but what. Like, it's not if your marriage is going to struggle, it's like, what is it going to go through? Just like motherhood. Kim, I love your honesty. Thank you, Kim. Shout out to Kim. What can I give you? A t-shirt. What's your size? Seriously, what's your size? And then I think that just like motherhood, right? It's not a matter of, like, what will we struggle in motherhood, or if we'll, like, but when, right? Like, we all have our struggles, whether it's getting the baby here. And send me your address, Kim. I'm sending you a shirt for participation. It's not like, how will you, like, we all struggle in one part, whether it's getting the baby here, toddler years are awful, maintaining a pregnancy, right? Or something in their teen years, or when they're an adult, it's not a matter of if, it's when. Okay. And so know that you guys are not alone in that, like in marriage stuff. It's messy. We're two completely different people coming together in one house, trying to raise a family the best way that we can. We want to raise little tiny humans into amazing adults. We came from different backgrounds, different traumas, different circumstances, different, what, this, that, and the other. And then you're trying to come together. Like, that's insane, right? Like, so we have to give ourselves grace. Okay. Let me make sure I'm staying on track. Gotta have notes, guys. So sad. My podcast, I don't do this. I stay on track somehow. It's because I don't have a screen to distract me. Okay. It will never be 50-50. I think that was the biggest mistake that I believed into, was that, oh, it's 50-50. Marriage is always 50-50. And wrong. Lies. Because then I always felt guilt and resentment when I couldn't meet that 50%, or towards him when he couldn't meet it. It goes in seasons. There was a season where I was literally at 0 because I get so violently ill when I'm pregnant. I'm down for like 4 months. Don't talk to me. Don't touch me. I can't function. Like, I literally did nothing. I weighed like 96 pounds because pregnancy does me dirty, guys. And I literally did nothing but lay in bed. No joke. Couldn't even eat anything. And so I was at a 0. My husband was at like 150%. Okay. There are times when he's sick where I'm at like a 70 or an 80. He functions better when he's sick. All right. Don't judge me. It's going to fluctuate with seasons. This 50-50 thing is bullcrap. Okay. Maybe you are in a season where it's 50-50, but that is not realistic. Normally it's never that. It's always going to be like 70, blah, blah, blah. I'm not good at math. Or like, 80-20. It's never 50-50. It's just not. So it's like that whole ideal of like balance in motherhood. It doesn't exist. Okay. It's just not realistic. If it's something that you expect for your spouse to do, it takes away the ability to be grateful. Like, if I expect him to make dinner every night and then he doesn't do it, I'm pissed, right? I'm disappointed. I'm let down because I expect it. I've come to expect it. But if it was that when we were dating at the beginning of marriage, what have you, he made great dinner, and I was really grateful for it, right? Like, oh man, like, you're making dinner again? That's awesome. Like, I can't wait to taste it. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for this. I'm so thankful. You're such an amazing cook. I appreciate it. And then when he doesn't, it's like, oh, well, it's okay. Like, I'll make something tonight. No biggie. Right? But when it becomes an expectation, it's like, why? Why didn't you do it? Couldn't you tell that I was busy today? You should have done it. Y'all can relate. I know you can. I don't know what situation it is. I know I can. That's why I'm saying that. But yeah, if it's just a desire, we have more gratitude and therefore we're more grateful. But taking them for granted instead of being fully grateful it's gonna be no dice, guys. It's gonna hurt. Somebody has to start the cycle. Okay. Give me some numbers if this was helpful, because we're coming to an end and I want to know if this was helpful to you guys. I also am going to post a video for you in the comments after I do this. Actually, no, we can watch the video together. Let's do that. Okay. Let's watch this video. Hopefully it works. But I'm going to say, okay, no, let's watch this video. And then I'm going to tell you a sentence, and then I'm going to give you your homework, and then we'll be out. We can be out. Okay. Y'all ready? Let me see if I can turn this around. Can y'all see this? Okay. Shout out if you can see this. It's a minute long. Hang in there with me. It's going to be awesome. My love language is acts of service. I constantly wish or hope that things will be done as a surprise or kind of gesture. Does he know that your love language is an act of service? Okay, let's watch this video.
When it comes to relationships, all of us have a box, an invisible box of hopes, dreams, and desires. Money, we're going to have a lot of money, or we don't need a lot of money, live in some sort of thing. You're going to rent, you're going to lease, you're going to purchase. There's travel. We'll travel a lot. We're going to travel all around the world. No, we're going to keep it in the United States. And this is, every guy has some idea of what he hopes and dreams that his wife will not wear to bed, and she's thinking, but he just wants me to be comfortable. He doesn't care. At some point along the way, we can't help ourselves. We essentially take our box of hopes, dreams, and desires, and we say, here, make them come true. When we hand somebody our box of hopes, dreams, and desires, it doesn't feel like hopes, dreams, and desires to them, does it? To them, it feels like expectations. To them, it feels like a weight. To them, it feels like a responsibility. To them, it feels like if they don't come through, you might be disappointed with them. There's something about extraordinarily happy couples that's always a mystery, and I'm telling you what part of the mystery is. They live every day under the assumption that they owe each other everything, and they don't expect anything in return. When it comes to relationships,
Okay, tell me, where am I? Okay, there we go. Tell me if that hit hard for you guys. I'm gonna put the link in the comments because I know it was a little delayed. Hopefully you guys could see that. It's about giving in everything without feeling like they owe us anything, okay? And I know this is so counterintuitive, okay? Be with me, hang out with me throughout this whole week, because we're gonna unpack a lot of this. Today, I just want you to open your mind to this idea, because I feel like this is where we get stuck first, is expectations and desires. And if we just put it into the right places and sort out our feelings in it, then we can go through these muddy waters a little bit more clear, okay? So someone has to start the cycle though, you guys. I know that this is, as a stubborn person that I am, I struggle with this of well, if he's not, I won't. Why do I have to show up? Okay, we have that kind of mentality, right? Why should I show up if he's not? Why should I be at 100 if he's at 1%? Okay, y'all, we're talking about your marriage here. If we don't do something now, ain't gonna be no marriage, okay? So you can either be stubborn and sit in your stubbornness and your I ain't gonna do nothing castle and see how that plays out, or we can start to make some changes and see how your way of doing things becomes infectious in your marriage. And especially if you include your husband in on this, then it becomes a partnership and something that you guys are working on together. So if you're a part of this, I feel like you're ready for this cycle. If you're watching, you're yes, I want to make some changes. Shout out if you're ready, to do something needs to change. If your love tank has been frozen, it's been dry, we talk about our love tank all the time. I use a car as a metaphor, as the actual gas tank, and love languages being the gas that fills it up. If your love tank has been dry this whole time, it's been empty, it's been frozen, your car's been stuck in the driveway, hasn't moved, okay? It's going to take some awkwardness and some time and hard work to get that car up and running again. Did you hear that I said that it wouldn't, it's not forever stuck in that driveway? No, it's going to take some time, okay? But it will. So here's your homework for the night. Somebody put this in the comments because I can't. Oh, dang. Internet. Okay, actually, I'll put it in the comments in a minute. Okay, homework. Take the test. Take the love languages test. If you haven't, take it again. Here's changes in seasons. Do not take the test with the answers in mind that you want to come. Oh my gosh. Do not take it with it in mind that, I am words of affirmation, or I'm words of or acts of service, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to answer all the questions. Like we do that. We mess with our heads and we skew our answers. If you are the same, cool, no biggie. Talk with your spouse about what their love language is and give examples of how they'd enjoy doing this challenge together. Talk about this challenge, you guys. Have a conversation. Say, hey, here's an example. Okay, I'm going to give you like a little script that you can say in a safe space to where maybe he won't get all like offended and whatever. Hey, hubby. Like, I'm doing this love languages challenge and I'm mostly going to be doing all the work, but I really thought that it would be fun to do this together. You know, it's going to be really easy for you because I'm going to be doing all these live teachings, and then I'll just tell you kind of what I learned, and we'll do these little homework assignments together, and they're not hard. They're actually really fun, and I think that we'll really enjoy doing, I don't know, something like that, right? And you can say, here's the key, okay? It will challenge me to serve your love language better, okay? That's what reels them in, right? Okay, service, guys. Okay, back to Janice. I don't want to just like leave you high and dry. Okay, I constantly wish or hope that things will be done as a surprise or kind of gesture. Am I wrong? Okay, here's the deal. Guys don't think like us. So when he thinks that I bet you he thinks that he's doing that for you already. Like I bet you if you were to have this conversation with him and you're like, we're going to have a homework like this a different day. I don't know what day it is. It'll be fun. But I bet you he thinks he's already doing that for you and he's showing up for you in a different way. And when you have this conversation, this homework coming up in another day, I bet you it's going to show up and he's going to be like, I thought I was doing that for you. And you're going to be like, no, like, that's not what I want. And he's like, well, I thought that's what you want. No. So I think that's where we get messed up is we assume that they know what we want. You have to literally tell them. Here's an idea. Put things on the refrigerator. Just like how you schedule sex, not joking, guys. If you put it on the calendar, I know some of us are like, oh, well, that takes the romance out of it. We're married, we have 3 kids, okay? Put it on the fridge, like a list, and say, like, give ideas of things that you like. Doing the dishes. So that way it's always there. He doesn't have to ask you. I just now thought of this, guys. So I don't even have this in my notes. I should have saved this for a better day. Put it on the fridge, notes, be like, ways to serve. Make it cute, make it fun, okay? Like, and just have it on the fridge all the time, because this is another thing is like, we don't want them to ask us because we need ourselves to think that they thought of it themselves. Somehow that makes us feel like it's better. It's a better surprise that way if they came up with it themselves, although they can't read our minds. So that's like an impossible thing. I don't even know why we do that to ourselves. Make a list on the fridge. Dishes, put away to the dishes if the dish machine is full. Like, vacuum when you have, nothing else, when everything else is clean, blah, blah, blah. Like, give ideas. So that way when he comes home early, or when, you go out to do something, like maybe you go out for a girl's day or a girl's afternoon and he's left them and he's like, like, I have this list here. Otherwise he doesn't think of it. Okay. He's not going to be like, what can I do? No, they don't think about it like that. Their minds are different. Okay. But if it's there and they can see it and you say, hey honey, like anytime, that you have a free moment or you just love to serve me, here are some ways, like, keep them like realistic, y'all. Like, don't be like, write me a sonnet, draw me a bath with velvet, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Unless you really want to try to roll there. I don't think that's a good idea, but put some ideas and I guarantee you'll see more success that way, but also do it the same. Have him put some things up there too. Okay. Y'all can't be scared to be served and not serve. Okay. Like, that's the same thing as like, what do I tell my kids? Like, don't, what is it? Crap. It's like when they, like do stuff to other kids, like, and I'm like, don't, y'all know what I'm trying to say. What is it? Like, don't, bully or pester somebody if you can't take it. Don't dish it out if you can't take it. That's what it was. Gosh, that was a struggle. That was difficult to watch. Okay. Homework. Talk about this challenge with your hubby, with your spouse, with your boo thing. Take the test. Have them take the test. It's quick. It's easy. It's super fast. Pull up the link for them. Show them, here, take this. It's fun. and watch that video if you weren't able to see it clearly. I want to see if there's any other things that I want to leave you before we hop off, because we are on here way too long. Okay, that is it. We're going to get that car out of the driveway, y'all. We're going to get it running again. I hope this was helpful for you guys. We're going to do day 2 tomorrow, and it's going to get better. Every day gets better. Every day is going to get more awesome. Tomorrow we are talking about, I don't want to tell you. You have to tune in. Okay, Kim, I owe you a shirt. Janice, you're getting your gift card soon. Y'all do your homework. It's going to pay off. Let me know if this was helpful. Hop in the comments, #live, #replay. If you're watching this later, and you guys have a good night. Talk with your hubbies. It's going to be okay. I promise. Comment in the group if you need help. The group is there for a reason, you guys. So comment if situations arise, you don't know how to say certain things, like let me know. Let's talk it out with each other. Let's be there for each other. That's what this is all about. So I will catch you guys tomorrow, 9 p.m. Be there or be square. That was really lame. Maybe we could say like, let's pop off. I don't know. I'm not cool, guys. All right. Bye.
All right, guys, that was day 1. Make sure you're live. You're on the Facebook group, So She Grows Mom Community. Search it in Facebook. Join. Get in there. Join live. 9:45 a.m. Central Standard Time, Tuesday, October 6th. Be in there or be square. See you guys next time.